And but some of those guys, I think mostly with Yossi, it's the way he plays and competes and shows up every night is the way that you have to play and compete. And same with Granlund. I think they just bring their game every single night, and it's basically they're leading by their play. Our leadership's great. I think it stems throughout the whole core of our team. I mean, you look at Ekholm and Borowiecki on the back end too. Those are big voices in our locker room too, and the way they play and the way they speak up when things need to be fixed. Like you listen to them, and it's just a great cohesion in our group, and everybody pitches in a certain way.
For you personally, obviously last year you played a few games, and this year I know you played a bunch of games in Montreal, and you've had a good pro career. But does it feel like you're an NHLer? You're here. You've established yourself. I listen to the coaches speak about you. I listen to your teammates. I watch you every single night. It seems like, I don't know, almost this year you just came in like you're possessed, and you just wouldn't be denied. And now, they can't keep you out of the lineup. Is that how you feel about your game right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I feel like I was always right there with my game. I feel like it was just my speed and my competitiveness every single night. I think I needed to bring that every single night, and I think I had a really good offseason. And I think the way that this team plays, in a way that it's coached, and the way that I guess we play every night, it really helps my game. It's hard, it's heavy. It's finishing on top. It's finishing your checks. And I think I finally have my speed and my stamina up to where it needs to be an everyday NHLer. And, I think last year being on the taxi squad, I really learned a lot being around this group of guys and being around the coaching staff. I think that really helped me come in this year into camp, ready to go and, earn myself a spot, which I think I have. And I think I need to continue. Obviously I'm a bottom six player. I need to continue to bring that every single night for a long time to be considered, a regular. But I feel like definitely on my way, on the right path to becoming an everyday NHL player. And I feel like I'm ready for it.
You brought up Borowiecki earlier. He's going to be our guest in the second half hour. Aren't you glad that you don't have to fight him?
Yeah, you know what? I played in Montreal for a little while, and I had to play against him, and he was always running around. And I don't think, like I just talked about with my game being ready as an everyday NHLer, I was never really a force on the ice where nobody would really want to fight me because I didn't do anything other than, just fight. So I never was able to fight him, thank God. And yes, I'm very happy I never had to.
Well, and that's the thing, Mace, we were talking about this earlier, that you guys got several on the team that'll drop them if they need to. And I think that's obviously part of your identity that John Hynes has been trying to build over the last couple of years. But if I'm not mistaken, I think you're up there in fighting majors for the NHL this year with the team as a whole. I mean, that's a force you don't want to mess with.
Yeah, I actually had an interview earlier this year too, where I was talking to Brooks, where I think it's the best case scenario where there's not just one tough guy. When there's just one guy, it's so hard. It's every night you're in there and you're like, oh, I got to fight this guy. And then the next night you got to fight this guy, where we have so many guys where we play so hard that someone's going to ask you throughout the course of the night, the way we play. We finish checks hard. We're a hardworking team. We're stripping pucks. I like to call it dog on a bone mentality. So we're all over the puck, and guys are going to get upset. And, there's I'd say 20 guys on our team willing to fight. So it's awesome. We have a great team and a great cohesion in that sense.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny, the irony in that, because you see it every night, and obviously every team's got toughness on it, but you guys go in and they might try to kind of counter that at the start of the game. And, you got to stick up for your teammates, of course, but when it's 15 guys or 20 guys, or, you got 6 legit guys that can play the game, it's something that before you guys got here and this team kind of took on this persona, that it was kind of a negative, I guess. Like you go into Dallas or St. Louis and they'd kind of bully the Preds a little bit. And now you just see the flip side of it. It just can't compete. So do you like having a coach, I guess, that really values that? And you said you have to find the right spot for your game. And it seems like, you have with this coaching staff.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the way our coaches coach. I think from top to bottom, even from our PK, I like the way I like the way our PK kills penalties. I like the way our coaches have a hard forecheck, don't let anybody punch you in the face kind of mentality, and they cherish that. Like they like that stuff when you're hard on guys. And when I played in the East before, it's more skilled, more fast, where maybe I wasn't, I didn't fit into a team as well. And this team, the way they play, it fits my identity perfectly. And like I said before, it's not just me that's having to answer the bell. It's a lot of guys and that will answer the bell. I'm not saying I wouldn't every night, but it's sometimes nice to, come in there and knowing that 6 other guys have your back as well. So it's awesome. And 20 guys have your back. It's awesome. Yeah. So, the way our team plays, I absolutely love it.
I'm just asking one more. I'm just going to follow up on that. What's Danny Hinote like? He's one of those guys, like he wasn't a big guy, but I'm sure he probably told you he fought Chara back in the day too.
He's an energy ball. He's one of the best assistant coaches I've ever had. It is in the way that he takes over as an assistant coach, the way he brings his energy to the rink every day. I feel like him and Coach Hines are on the same page at all times. And what he's telling you is exactly what Hines is thinking, I'm sure. So he's a great assistant coach. He's a great I spent so much time with him on the ice last year as a taxi squad member. And he got my game. He worked on all the areas I was weak in, and I can't thank him enough. And I'm sure I'm positive some of my success this year is strictly because of him.
That's awesome. When we come back, I'm going to ask Mace if this group of guys that we're talking about reminds him of anyone that he played with back in the day with the Nashville Predators. As you listen to Smashville Live, it's all presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, Red Spirits and Wine here on ESPN 102.5, The Game and the Game Nashville app.
He is back.
Nobody's going to catch him. Derrick Henry, touchdown, 76 yards.
King Derrick Henry returns to the lineup for the Titans.
Win every day, not just every game, win every day.
As the Two-Tone Blue look to capture the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
The catalyst that gets any of this Titans offense moving is Derrick Henry.
Keep it locked on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Bob's Steak and Chop House is a renowned award-winning steakhouse in major cities across the U.S. Nashville is lucky to have a location here in downtown at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Fine dining is brought to a new level at Bob's with awards like the Wine Spectator Award 4 years in a row, TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence 5 years in a row, and Open Tables Diner's Choice Award 6 years in a row. Fine dining at its best. Bob's Steak and Chop House, open Wednesday through Saturday, 5 to 10 p.m. in the Omni Nashville Hotel. Complimentary valet parking is always available.
The playoffs are in full swing, and Electronic Express is bringing you halftime show-stopping deals. Get the full game day experience. 4K TVs from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department. Computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, and more. The game wouldn't be complete without the food, so save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. We've got what you need to get big game ready at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Are you missing football on Thursdays? Well, you can still turn every Thursday into payday with NBA on TNT on FanDuel Sportsbook. Robbie Stanley here to tell you, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, FanDuel is giving all customers $10 back every Thursday. Just bet a $10 or more same-game parlay on any NBA on TNT game. Same-game parlays let you combine the money line, the point spread, player props, and more all into one wager. Good one coming up this Thursday. You got the Mavericks hosting the Phoenix Suns. I'll take the Suns on the money line on the road. I'll take Chris Paul on the over on assists, but you take it any way you want to take it. Offers like this are why I love betting with the NBA on FanDuel Sportsbook. It's the perfect way to turn a small bet into a big-time score, and when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 2 hours. So if you're new to FanDuel, just sign up with promo code ROB to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000 and make every moment more this NBA season. Once again, that promo code is ROB. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. A max bonus of $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is here to serve you. Is your AC or heating unit old and inefficient? Is it breaking down yearly? Now is the time to replace it. With Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, get a unit that lasts with their 10-year parts and labor warranty. Get ahead of the game now and call Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, offering 60 months no interest financing and 10 years parts and labor warranty on all new units. Restrictions apply and not available on all equipment. Schedule now at springhillac.com or call 615-778-8855.
Thursday night.
Ingram off the dribble, knocks down another two-pointer.
The Pelicans head to New York to take on the Knicks in NBA action.
Robinson, the offensive rebound.
Coverage begins at 6
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
This is Smashville Live.
It is Smashville Live, presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, Red Spirits Wine in Bellevue. Chase McCabe, Chris Mason, Michael McCarron here with you on this edition. Mark Borbietsky is going to join us in the bottom of the hour. So I said that I was going to ask Mace, does this group of guys, this team, this just tough mentality remind you of some of the teams you played on? Because you had some guys like Jordan Tutu, Darcy Hordichuk, Vern Fiddler, that they weren't going to mess around either. So do you see some comparisons?
Oh, definitely. Shea Weber, Greg DeVries. We had a lot of those kind of gritty teams. I feel this team is maybe, I think, top to bottom lineup, one of the toughest I've seen. Even guys like Matt Benning, like he's kind of sneaky tough. He looks quiet out there, but if someone messes around, like he's not shy to drop the mitts, or he's tough in front of the net. And the way that every one of these guys, Alex Carrier is not a big guy, but he'll put his body in front of any kind of shot and block it. I just feel like there's obviously been comparisons. The game was a lot different back then. I feel like this team is a throwback in terms of the physicality have, but everyone's got skill. You talk about some of the guys, Darcy Hordichuk, those guys play, 2 minutes a game or 3 minutes a game. They just go out there and fight. The league's different now. So you don't see teams like this anymore. And the ones that do are few and far between. I'd say St. Louis, Boston, Nashville, maybe Dallas. I don't know if Dallas can hang anymore, but there's not many like it. Calgary, maybe, but it's different. It's different now.
Mike, when you were growing up, who were some players that you liked and try and model your game after?
So I grew up in Detroit, and probably one of the best eras of Detroit hockey of all time. And I loved the grind line. So that had Draper, McCarty, and Maltby on it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And obviously I like those three. I know Preds fans might not be too happy because you guys battled it with Red Wings quite a bit in the playoffs, but I also loved the captain and Yzerman. It was a great time to be a kid in Detroit at the time.
Well, Red Wings coming to town on Saturday, of course. So that'll be fun. It's funny though, like you bring that up, even though they're not in the division anymore. I know for me, whenever Detroit comes to town, it hits a little different because I grew up going to games during the time you're talking about when it was just you had the Pred Wing fans that had moved here from Detroit. And so they were Preds fans for every game except for when the Red Wings came to town. And it was crazy.
Yeah. I'm excited to play them. I was lucky enough to play in Joe Louis a couple times before they shut down that place. So that was pretty special for me as a Detroit kid.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good years to be a hockey fan, up and comer. Now, do you guys get to do much here in Nashville? Are you guys pretty locked down, or do you have any favorite spots you like in town here? Like, where do you go? Do you eat pregame meal at the rink, or do you get to go night before and do any of that? What's your routine?
Yeah, so obviously day of is my morning. I always make my own breakfast. I think I like to have my eggs and my smoothie in the morning before I head to the rink. And then I always eat from the rink. The pregame meal is usually pretty good at the rink. It's always it's either rice and chicken with a big salad and some marinara sauce on the rice. But that's always at the rink. It's pretty good at the rink, actually. Some of my favorite spots in town, obviously I got to give a shout out to Yossi's place in the 1230 Club. They have great dinners at that place. We go there as a team sometimes. I try to stay off Broadway. It's too busy.
Yeah. Great.
But yeah. I do like my favorite Italian place is Giovanni's. They have great a lot of guys go for pregame meal there. Olivia and I, my fiance, we love to go there for dinner. They have some great meals, some really good wine that we like. So it's probably a couple of my favorite places.
Nice.
Yeah, that's not bad. There's some good spots around here. What's your favorite kind of wine?
I I like it all. I mean, my favorite, I have to say, Cabernet. But I do like I like the Bordeaux's from France. I do like them. They're just a bit, they're a bit more tastier. I think they're a bit more full bodied. So I do like those as well. I wouldn't say I'm a wine connoisseur, but I definitely like my wines.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
No.
Let me ask you more on. We talked a lot of hockey. You guys probably get sick of talking that. Like when you travel on the plane, are you a card guy? Are you a movie guy, like Netflix, or what do you do to pass the time?
So I'm basically a call-up guy for cards. So whenever someone's out or sick or with COVID or an injury, I'll play cards. I love cards. 7 up, 7 down. It's basically a trump game.
Yeah,
I like to play that. And if not, I'm still, I think I'm a few games away from, being a verified rookie in this league. So I just sit there with my headphones on and I like to play like solitaire, cards on my game or cards on my phone. And I like to Spit and Chicklets podcast. I like listening to those guys. I think they're hilarious. So I'll either throw on one of those podcasts or a different podcast and just close my eyes and get some rest.
That's awesome. They asked me to go on recently. I'm just debating. I can't go on and I can't tell good stories because it worked for the team. So it'd be kind of like,
hey, you're going to get in trouble.
Oh my gosh. But, yeah, those guys are hilarious though.
Oh, they're awesome.
They do a great job. For sure. So the card games, I mean, I've been on the plane before and I can hear it, behind me. Like they can get pretty intense sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Like, especially when you're winning too. Like if you're winning games and you're able to have some, you're able to hoot and holler in the back, it can get pretty wild. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not like it's too crazy, too much of a. I wouldn't say the money is too crazy. Like the most you could lose in one game in about an hour might be for some people is $100, but I've been on teams where you could lose $500-600 in an hour. So it's even with $100 payout in an hour, people are still, freaking out. So it's a fun time, and we definitely have fun at the card table.
That's awesome. You a video game guy at all, or you Netflix or anything like that?
No, I got shut down by that from Olivia a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, I used to play quite a bit actually in junior. I used to play a lot, and then as soon as she moved in, I guess I kind of fell out of touch with it and stopped playing. I definitely play games on my phone. I like card games. I like, I guess I'd say Sudoku. I play sometimes on the plane. But no, definitely more a card guy than video games.
Yeah, who are the big gamers on the team? I know Forsberg is.
Yeah, we got some gamers. So on the plane, a lot of guys play Nintendo Switch or the Switch or whatever it's called. Yeah, I've been trying to get one of those. They're sold out across Nashville, by the way. I've been trying to get some, but they play. You can all Bluetooth each other in, and they play Mario Party, and they play Mario Kart, and they play that. So they have like best of 10s going on every flight, and they seem to have a little fun. Sometimes they're even more loud than the card table.
That's awesome. When Danny Heino, we used to call him Eagle Claw. We used to play PSPs. It was SOCOM. And we'd always be on the same team. I was 5'0", my number was 50, and he was Eagle Claw. And we just, the trips to San Jose would seem like a half an hour. It's like a 5-hour flight. We just play like nonstop on the bus. You got to call him that tomorrow. Call him Eagle Claw.
Eagle Claw, yeah. I used to play PSP, and I used to play Grand Theft Auto on PSP.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
Fun times.
Mace, didn't you tell me one time that you and Hartnell would have some pretty intense Mario Kart games?
No, we played. It was SOCOM on there. It was Scott Nickel, who Mac probably knows. He was a big player. We had like 11 or 12 guys and trainers. David Good used to play. We had everybody. There was like 12 guys when I played for the.
What's that game called?
SOCOM. It was like you go like 4-on-4 or 5-on-5, and you'd have all these different maps, and you'd have to like kill everyone dead. You could do revives and stuff. It was, oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Never heard of that, but it sounds fun.
See,
I'm aging myself.
Yeah, I remember SOCOM for sure. But like you guys talk about these playing games and cards and stuff. I mean, that falls in the team bonding. I mean, we started this conversation about how close you guys are, and just this last 5 minutes talking about, all this stuff hanging out together because you spend so much time together, especially with the COVID stuff. I mean, that leads to the team bonding.
Yeah. I mean, there's like I said before too, like it's not just like the card guys hang out with the card guys. It's, you get to the hotel and there's a team lounge. Everyone's down there hanging out with each other. And the team camaraderie, I'd say, since coming up here, has been, second to none. It reminds me of, like I said, my Memorial Cup team and even the team in Milwaukee that we had the year when COVID shut us down. We were the first in the league. It's just, you get a different sense of, you get a different feeling around a team when, everyone gets along. You just kind of know, like Mace, I'm sure it's just a different feeling. You're just like, wow, these guys are tight. Like these guys get along well, and they cohesively play on the ice the same way, the way you hang out off the ice. So it's definitely something special, and I think it's definitely in our benefit.
Absolutely. Like you can literally see it on the ice. Like it just translates, and especially you've been on those teams, you've been on teams where it's not, like, obviously you like the guys and there's a couple good guys, a couple whatever, okay, but it's not the same. And then when you have that experience, it's like, it's just a powerful thing. And there's this zero hesitation when you're out there on the ice. This is me watching you guys every single night. And it's something that you can visually see, the way that you guys play and the way that you stick up for each other, the way that you work, the accountability, all the above. And it's a rare thing. It's not easy to find.
No. And I give credit, to GM and David and, Scotty Nickel. It's a hard thing to put together a group of guys that they see that can maybe possibly that happen. I mean, it's hard. It's maybe it's some luck and some, I mean, you look, he's got however many years in the league as a GM. I think he just knows, the type of people that need to be put together. So it's, I don't really know what else to say. I think it's fantastic, and we need to keep this train rolling.
Yep.
Well, Mike, appreciate the time tonight. It's good to talk to you. Best of luck tomorrow against Winnipeg, and we'll do this soon.
All right. Thanks, Chase. Thanks for having me. And Mace, we'll see you soon. And let's go Prez.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt. Keep it going,
Absolutely.
buddy.
Yeah.
Michael McCarron, Predators forward, joining us here on Smashville Live. We'll come back with defenseman Mark Borowiecki. That is all next, presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Jared Stillman.
I cannot believe they picked this guy I've never heard of.
And company.
You're forced to play cap gymnastics, which makes it a little bit more difficult for picking up other guys.
Tune in Stillman and Company for your drive home. Delivered by TriStar Moving. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Victory Award-winning New Amsterdam Vodka knows all about it, but in life, it's not always so clear. So New Amsterdam Vodka believes that in life, you've got to find your own wins. You've got to overcome your fears, go all in, even when you've got nothing at all. Find your wins. And when you do, raise that glass of New Amsterdam Vodka in victory. You've earned it. New Amsterdam Spirits Company, Modesto, California.
Winter's a bad time for your furnace to go out, but it's never a bad time to call Lee Company. Our heating and air conditioning pros are available 24/7. No heat? Don't wait. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000. Our expert technicians will diagnose the issue and fix it right the first time. When you're cold, you need someone you can count on to bring the heat. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Nashville area attorneys. 810 Crescent Center Drive, Suite 160, Franklin, Tennessee, 37067.
The Parker Store at 1909 Nolensville Road in Nashville is the Parker Factory Authorized Store for your Parker hydraulic, pneumatic, water, and chemical hose needs. They stock metric tubing and hose connections to 42 millimeters in size, and they'll fabricate while you wait up to 6,000 PSI hydraulic hoses in a 2-inch size. Call the Parker Store at 615-248-8245 for all the Parker requirements you have. The Parker Store, 1909 Nolensville Road.
Ryan Porth here for Dr. Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine. My family has been visiting Dr. Rice for 19 years. If you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Dr. Rice and her amazing staff can change your life. They do more than just dental work. They quiet your snoring, heal cold sores, and give you that beautiful smile. And if you're worried about not having dental insurance, their membership club has you covered. So do what my family has done. Go to kellyerice.com and schedule your visit to Dr. Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine. You'll be glad you did.
Hey everybody, Robbie Stanley here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's as the neighborhood bar and restaurant to catch the next Preds game. Jasper's is located on West End Avenue and offers a fun atmosphere with a game room, TVs, and a large bar and lounge area. Plus they offer free parking. That's right, free parking on West End, and offer specials for every Preds game day, including $10 smash burgers and $3 bottled domestics. So come on down to Jasper's next game day for happy hour every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. and 2-for-1 beers all day on Sundays. Just tell them that Robbie Stanley sent you.
Hey, this is Matt Duchene, and this is Smashville.
Running down the left side with Duchene. Duchene scores! Matt Duchene with the overtime winner.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
This is Smashville Live.
Welcome back into Smashville Live here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. We're streaming on the Game Nashville app. You can also watch us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all of those things. It's presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. Chase McCabe, Chris Mason with you. And now we say hello to the Borough Cop, Mark Borvietsky, joining us here. Mark, how's it going?
Good. Yeah, I'm doing good. I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you.
Yeah, always good to talk to you. We got to do this last year. And, I was telling Michael McCarron before that, at least I'm starting to meet some of you new guys in person because we've just been staring at each other through a screen the last couple of years. But I know things have kind of flared up again, but making it through. So how do you think you all have navigated this COVID stuff so far?
I think we've done a good job. I mean, it has been difficult. I'm sure you hear guys say it all the time, but the one thing is, every team's going through it. It's not unique to us. I think the tricky ones are those afternoon games where you've got guys coming up positive, a few hours before the game, right? Kind of throws you a bit of a curveball for that guy personally, for guys who may have not been in the lineup and now all of a sudden are. So that's been a bit tricky, but it seems like we're kind of coming to the end of it here. So I think all in all, it's been a pretty good job.
We're just talking to McCarron about the catchword that you guys, everybody throws around as a big part of your team is the identity and the camaraderie that, obviously me watching you guys every single night, it's something you can visually see from you guys. And it seems like every single guy in the lineup is just willing to do whatever it takes at any given time. And, obviously throughout 82 games, you're going to have some games, you're not your best, whatever it is, what it is. You lose a couple games, no big deal. It's going to happen to every team. The team that wins Stanley Cup is going to have a couple bad weeks here and there, but every single night you guys compete level. I've just never seen a team that every single night you guys bring it. Doesn't matter what night or who you're playing.
Yeah. I mean, we appreciate hearing that too, because it's tough, Mace, like it's tough to bring that every night. Some nights you're tired, it's a back-to-back, whatever it may be. And, I think your perspective is really good and spot on. There's ebbs and flows to a season. Like I've played on a team that made the conference finals, and, I was thinking about it today, just kind of mulling over these past 4 games for us. And at one point on that Ottawa team, I think we were on like an 8 or 9 game slide and we had a closed door meeting, like there's always stuff like that over the course of an 82 game season. So, I think the one thing for us, to our credit, to the guys in the room, to their credit, is we don't really come out and lay an egg very often, right? We're usually pretty competitive. We've only had a couple of instances this year, and where we haven't really played that identity and that culture that we tried to implement. So I think it's a good foundation for us.
What has this last stretch of games been like for you guys? Obviously, I asked Michael about you don't get the results you want, but there are times where you like how you're playing. It's a tough league, and that's how it goes night in and night out.
Yeah, like sometimes I think that can be even more of a gut punch. You go out and you have a war against Boston and you don't really have much to show for it. You sneak a point up, go into a tough game in St. Louis, and we made some mistakes, but I mean, we still played hard, and you got nothing to show for it. And sometimes that stings, sometimes it's easier to swallow going out there and playing terrible and getting the result you deserve, versus laying it all out there and not having much to show for it. So, again, I think it's important to kind of have some perspective and realize that this is kind of the ebb and flow of a season, but certainly some things that we can clean up in our game. It seemed like everything was going right for us for a while there. And, I think sometimes when that happens, some bad habits will creep into your game. I don't think anyone intends for that to happen. It's just the way it is when you're rolling at a 900 win percentage or whatever it is, right? Some of those things are going to creep in and they end up kind of biting you later on. So, just get back to kind of details, get back to our game and really try to buckle in here.
I was going to ask you, I was going to get maybe into your, the start of your career, you're Ottawa born and raised, and all you get to play in the National Hockey League for your hometown. Like, how cool was that? Like, was that just, I'm a Flames fan. I'm from Red Deer, but I just thought it was always fun. I love going back and playing in Calgary in the Saddle Dome. It was always such a special moment to me. Was that awesome? And did it kind of wear out at the end there, or was that something you love being playing in your hometown?
Yeah, I think at the very beginning of my career, I think it was, I was very starstruck. Going into a room with Alfie and Spezza and Nealer and Philly, all these guys, Mason, like that. Those are guys who I worshiped growing up. And I remember those first couple of seasons being like it was almost like imposter syndrome. It was like, I do not belong here. Like, what am I doing? It almost made me a little bit timid on the ice. And I think it retracted from my game a bit. But then I think as I settled in, it really was special for me. I think I probably took it for granted a little bit. You can't help it. I was part of that organization for 10, 11 years. You're going to start taking it for granted for a while, but that organization is always going to have a place in my heart. As well, when you go out there and lay it all on the line for a team, I've literally bled for that team. There's kind of a special connection there. So, the community is really important to Tara and I. I'm sure, at some point in our lives, we're going to end up back in that city. So yeah, it really was a special time in my career.
Yeah, I can only imagine. How do you think that you fit in here? I know last year was obviously a shortened season. It was different. Yeah. You had the injuries, you had other things that you were dealing with from a personal standpoint. And now this year, it feels like you have really found your role and your spot on this team.
I appreciate that. It means a lot. And this is certainly the way I'm playing now. And the role I have now is what I had hoped for coming in last year. And, when you play the amount of pro hockey that I've played, that Mace has played, there's going to be down years. You look at guys across the board in the NHL, there's going to be years where you're out with an injury, you're out with, personal reasons, whatever it may be. I think it's about how you respond. I really kind of didn't want to sit around this summer and drag my lip and feel sorry for myself. I stayed here all summer and I worked my butt off, and I wanted to come in here and have a good showing. And I feel like it's gone really well. I'm really fortunate and grateful to have Matt Benning, on my right side for most nights. Obviously it's been a bit different here with things in a bit of a blender personnel wise, but I think he's really helped me solidify my game. We have a really good connection on and off the ice, and also the coaching staff. They've kind of gone above and beyond to make me feel comfortable. We communicate well. It's always been a big thing for me in my career. I think if I can get on the same page with the staff and communicate, know what the expectations are, it helps any player in the league, and they've done a great job doing that. So, I really do love the guys in this dressing room. Every player is going to say that. It's probably overused, but we've got a tight group. It's kind of a funny role for me being the oldest guy at 32. It's a strange dynamic, but I enjoy it. The young guys here, I can't speak highly enough about them. Tanner, Alex Carrier, Tolvey, these guys are just they're good players, but they're good humans too. And I love being around them.
Real quick, before I turn it back over to Mace, you were talking about Ottawa. The new schedule, the rescheduled games came out today. So April 7th, have you circled that on your calendar yet?
I got a couple of buddies in a group chat, a little golf group chat. So as soon as I got it, I texted them. I was like, April 7th, because I think they were all geared up to go to that game, and it got canceled. So yeah, I've been on top of that one.
So you talk about your work in community, obviously very important to your wife and you. Why was that, or why is that? Is it because obviously you're a very good person? I really have a lot of respect for you coming out with your story, man. That's like, you just have no idea. I've got good friends, Corey Hirsch and a bunch of guys I used to play with, that you just don't realize how many people that you help, either in the hockey world or not in the hockey world. But what is it about that that's important? Because I admire guys that, you've realized a dream, but they still, with their families, with their wife, they just go the extra mile in the community. And I know that's important to you guys.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. It means a lot, Mason. I think part of it for us, for Tara and I, is just kind of remembering where we came from. My wife, Tara, she's from Ottawa as well. We both grew up in Ottawa, and, I don't know, like I was that kid hanging out at practices, trying to, catch any glimpse of NHL players that I could. I was that guy, just trying to immerse myself in hockey. And, when I see kids trying to do that too, it really reminds me of myself. And I think now that I have a son, it's evolved even more for me. And, obviously I think as I've kind of had some personal struggles, perspective has been a big thing for me, and realizing that there's more to life than just this game. So, how can I use this opportunity I have, this platform I have to try to pay it forward a little bit and do some good things. We're pretty privileged, and obviously I'm grateful for that. But, if there's an opportunity for me off the ice to do something positive in whatever community I'm in, then, I'm all for that.
That's awesome.
Very, very cool. We'll have much more coming with Mark Borowiecki here on Smashville Live. We'll get into some things that he likes to do away from the rink. You heard him mention his son, who is running around, so we'll get into that. It's all presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Phobos. We are in Code Red. Rain changes over to freezing rain and snow tonight thanks to below freezing temperatures. Low on the accumulation, but high on the impact. Thursday morning's travel is going to be very difficult just to get from point A to point B.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is here to serve you. Is your AC or heating unit old and inefficient? Is it breaking down yearly? Now is the time to replace it. With Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, get a unit that lasts with their 10-year parts and labor warranty. Get ahead of the game now and call Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, offering 60 months no interest financing and 10 years parts and labor warranty on all new units. Restrictions apply and not available on all equipment. Schedule now at springhillac.com or call 615-778-8855.
Professional quilt maker Dana Balliard once said, "There are no rules in quilting, and if you think that there are, then it's time you try breaking a few." Now, I like that type of creative entrepreneurial spirit, and that's why I do my adult beverage trading at Red Spirits and Wine. It's not just a great selection of distilled spirits, single-barrel Red Select whiskeys, great wines from around the world, and awesome craft beers, but it's more the way the folks at Red just go about their business. At Red, they keep it interesting and fun. And the Crackerjack crew makes you feel welcome after a hard day on the trail, never coming off like some of them snooty-nosed, big-talking whoop-de-doos. At Red, it's always square dealing with the best in service, selection, and prices. Plus, Red is locally owned by real folks, not some totally faceless corporation. There's no doubt in my mind, Red is my kind of place. Red Spirits and Wine, Highway 70 South and Old Hickory Boulevard. And check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and at redspirits.com.
At Genesis Diamonds, it's not just a new year. It's a new opportunity to bring you more choices, more value, more ways to celebrate your love. So we've expanded our selection of exquisite hand-picked diamonds from a half carat to 15 carats, all shapes, all sizes, all at our famous no middleman prices. We've brought in even more exclusive designer jewelry, new cutting-edge fashion-forward rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, and pendants. We have the styles and looks on every woman's wish list, things you can't find anywhere else. And for 2022, Genesis is now offering a truly spectacular spectacular collection of luxury pre-owned Rolex timepieces. We have all the most popular styles in stock with no wait list and no restrictions. Is this the year you reward yourself with a premier name and timepieces? Come to Genesis in 2022 and let our non-commissioned experts help you celebrate those important milestones. We guarantee the best value, the highest quality, and the strongest warranties and guarantees in the jewelry industry. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolex timepieces. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
From Brentwood to Donaldson.
From a fantasy perspective, he is absolute gold.
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Smashville Live.
It is Smashville Live, presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. Chase McCabe, Chris Mason, Mark Borvietsky here with you on this edition of Smashville Live. And we mentioned this earlier, Mark, that the league did come out with the rescheduled games today. We already know about Ottawa, but for you guys to know that's all done now, you can kind of focus on other things and still get a little bit of a break in there. How important was that to get that done?
Yeah, it's nice. There was certainly, a lot was up in the air there. It seemed like we didn't really know what was going to happen. I think we were actually pretty fortunate. We had 6, I think, that got rescheduled. Yeah. Some of those Canadian teams are going to be in a bit of a crunch there in the second half of the season. So obviously a little more leeway with us, but it is still nice that they found a way to work in that break. This time of year, we call them dog days for a reason. It gets tough. The bumps and bruises start to rack up. So to have a chance to kind of regenerate a little bit, I think will be big.
Obviously, you guys are right in the middle of the Central Division. I asked John Hines about this at the start of the season, and I know as players, like, you don't ever care what experts or what this person says or that person, but you're kind of aware of it. Yeah. Did it matter to you guys at the beginning? Because I remember it was almost every single person said it was Arizona at the bottom, then Nashville. And I was like, man, I'm like, you never know, right, how it goes. But I'm just like, I can't believe. Did you guys ever talk about that? Ever, like, maybe personally think about it? I'm sure it's not something you guys talk about, but I just find it kind of comical.
Yeah, like, we never had like team meetings about it, but I know for me as an older guy who, like, I came here for a chance to win, like, it pissed me off for sure. It bothered me when I looked at some of the pieces we had, and the way that those guys played down the stretch the year prior. And it's always kind of fun, I think, to have a bit of a chip on your shoulder and feel like the underdog a little bit. And I think that's certainly kind of fed into our identity a little bit. That's been so key to us. And I think now people are kind of giving us the respect that we deserve when they see the way that we play night in, night out.
Have you, just follow up on that one more time. Have you ever played on a team? Obviously your game, you're a physical guy. I mean, even last year when you came in, your team wasn't that team. Like, you were one of the few guys that had that identity, and you know what it's like. You can't be one guy and go out and do it every single night and have that impact. Have you ever been on a team with this many guys that the whole team plays like that?
No, I mean, it's pretty incredible. And, say what you will about the way hockey is evolving, whatever, but when we kind of put it in these terms, prior to games, it's when you put that investment in physically, whether it's investing in hitting another team's decor on every dump and whatever it may be. I mean, that really is an investment in the game, and it starts to pay off. It's guys don't want to go back on pucks. Guys don't want to be first touch. Guys don't want to be skating through the neutral zone with speed. It really starts to pay off. And I think you see that when we're at our best, we kind of physically impose ourselves on teams. And for kind of lack of a better term, I think we can bully teams a little bit. And I think it gives us a lot of success.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about fatherhood. We were talking about this during the break. He's almost 2. So how do you balance, being dad and being a hockey player at the same time?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I found it tough last year. We had Miles like right before COVID hit. So like I was at home for like the first 10 months of his life, with him every single day, and I found that transition hard. I think it's gotten better this year for sure. I really, on practice days, I try to take him, on off days like today, Tara, she puts in so much work, wives and girlfriends when we're on the road, especially with kids. I mean, it's really a full-time job for them. We're gone so much. So on a day like today, it's kind of, boys time a little bit. I'll take them into the rink. We'll hang out with the guys. You know, we'll do that. We'll go and run our errands together. So I kind of try to maximize my time that way.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like, did it change your mindset? I remember before you have kids, it's like hockey's everything. Like it consumes your life, and you can just have that full commitment. When you have a kid, it changes a little bit. It kind of hockey goes on the totem pole. You can still obviously do it. It's just the priorities have to be shuffled.
Yeah, like I think, you know, the best way I can put it is before kids, you know, I was playing hockey for me. Now I'm playing hockey for Miles. You know, I'm playing because I want to provide him with the life that I think that he deserves. I'm playing because I want him to have fond memories of his dad being in the NHL. I want him to get a taste of this life and really experience this and enjoy it for what it is. And yeah, I mean, I could sit here and talk for hours about how my perspective has changed, as I'm sure you know, but it really is special. It's just the best thing ever.
So last year, our broadcast location was in Barrel House on the main concourse, and we used to joke that it kind of became the Predators daycare, because it was right outside the section where the wives and girlfriends sat. And so the kids would go running around during the intermissions. And obviously, you know, this group's gotten younger, but a lot of kids involved. So how cool is it to kind of, you know, your teammates, they're going through a lot of the same things, kids are the same age and all of that.
It's awesome. And, you know, I think it's really important for the wives and the spouses too. You know, everyone's got a support staff here, you know, in some capacity. Like, you know, I think it's good for bringing us together as well. You know, on an off day the other day, we had a birthday party for Bo Duchesne, right? We get all the kids together. It was a great time. You know, we all loved it. We hung out. You get to see guys outside of the rink in a different role, in a different part of their life. And it is nice when you have a group that's in a similar stage in their lives. And we definitely have that mix.
Speaking of different things that you guys do, I see your Instagram, and I see a lot of some Muay Thai kind of training videos. Is that so? How'd you get into that? That's cool. I love that. Yeah. You're throwing the elbows there. It's like, oh my God. Good thing. Thank God for the league. You're not allowed to do that. But it's how'd you get into that?
Yeah, like I got into it, I think, for more of a fitness side of it. I just couldn't help but think like mobility and flexibility and coordination and stuff like that, body awareness. I was like, hey, you know, this might transfer. And, you know, I've fought a lot in my career. I was never a technical fighter, and I think it bit me a lot. I was just a brawler. I just wanted to put my head down and chuck, and I wanted to hit someone or I was going to get hit. And, you know, it was always a coin toss. And I think as you get older, you're like, hey, you know, maybe that's not the best thing for my longevity and health. So maybe I should tighten this up. And I used to play with Chris Neal, and like this guy, it was like he had 8 arms in every fight. Like he was so good technically, and he never got tagged. And I think this year has been my best year. You know, it's a small part of the game, but this has been my best year fighting wise, because I think I've approached it a little more technically, and I've tried to transfer some things from what I've trained Muay Thai wise. And I think it's made a big difference. So I'm definitely going to stick with it.
That's awesome.
So as we wrap things up, obviously 2 home games to wrap up the week. Winnipeg tomorrow, which is a big Central Division matchup, and then Detroit on Saturday. You know, we've talked about this stretch of games. What's kind of the mindset to go into tomorrow to get back into the win column?
Yeah. So I think, you know, first of all, we need to establish our identity. I don't think, you know, I think we'd all collectively say we didn't do that enough against Vancouver. You know, that was a team with young skill, and typically when you play against young skill, if you're hard and physical, you know, you're going to maybe make them think twice. We didn't do that. So how do we get back to that for this game? Winnipeg's an experienced team. You know, they've been to the battles, so we're certainly going to need that. And then I think it's, you know, focus on details too. Some of our good details that made us successful in the past have kind of left our game a little bit. And then also just kind of realizing, you know, these Central Division games are huge. Like this division, I've never played in the Central before. Like this is nuts, you know, like we went on an absolute tear, whatever it was, 12-1-1, and we barely cleared any points off of teams, right? So, you know, these games are big. They're always battles, especially, you know, crunch time this time of year. So we're certainly going to have to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, and what's interesting, Mark, about Winnipeg and then Vancouver, you know, they go through coaching changes, and you're kind of seeing what happens. Yeah. It's weird. Hockey's the weirdest sport that happens, and you just see like this new energy. But I think Vancouver and Winnipeg are prime examples of that.
Yeah, like what Vancouver was, I think something like 9-3-1 coming into that game against us or whatever since the coaching change. Like sometimes just, you know, a new voice, a new message, it can really rejuvenate a team, especially with young guys. I think for whatever reason, it wasn't clicking there under the previous coach, and they kind of found their juju a little bit there, you know, and it makes a big difference. So it's going to be kind of the same deal for Winnipeg. You know, it's going to be an important game for both of us, so we got to be ready to rock.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. It's always good to catch up with you, and appreciate you taking the time tonight. Go play with your son and get ready for tomorrow, and we'll see you at the rink.
No, I appreciate it. I'm always happy to come on. Thanks for having me. We'll go. It's bath time now for Miles. So I'll probably do the same. So big game tomorrow. So
yeah, thanks, Burrow.
Guys.
Good luck
tomorrow, guys. See ya.
He is Mark Borowiecki, better known as Burrow. I'm Chase McCabe. For Chris Mason, thanks to New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, Red Spirits and Wine. For Smashville Live, stick around. Penalty Box Radio is next on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
The Eagles Hotel California Tour.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
Live in concert with a full orchestra.
Take it.
Performing their iconic album, Hotel California, beginning to end, plus a greatest hits set.